What's going on, guys, and welcome back to the channel. So I felt like this is a very appropriate time to make this video because I'm about to start wrapping the BRZ. I get the wrap for it tomorrow, so there's some things that I want to go over, you guys, with the STI and the wrap that we did on that one. So if you guys are looking to wrap your own cars, you guys can avoid some of these mistakes that I've made, because there's definitely one or two panels on this car that I need to rewrap, just based off of the learning experience, things I didn't know when I did the STI. So I want to cover the defects with my wrap that I did on my STI as the very first time car wrapper. You guys know what I'm saying. But hopefully, going over this stuff, there are things that you guys can avoid, so that way you're not making these same mistakes, having to go back, rewrap panels like I am. So let's get into it. Let's start going over the defects of the car. We'll probably just start up in the front, go around the car entirely, come back up here and recap it. Now, I'm gonna answer a lot of your guys' questions that you guys had going through this as well. So a couple of just the commonly asked questions is, how much did it cost me to buy the wrap? It was about $800 total, including the mistakes that I made on the giant A to C pillars. I ended up ordering 75 feet by 5 feet of the gray initially. Once I kind of made those mistakes, I ordered another 5 feet by 30 feet. And then when it came to doing the roof, I ordered 5 feet by 10 feet. Now with the roof, I ordered a little more than I needed, so that way I could do some of the accents down on the doors, the door handles, that kind of stuff. So if that is something you're looking at doing, you're gonna need, if it's your first time, I would probably get 105 feet total in length by 5 feet. If you're looking to do some accents, it's not a bad idea to get a little bit of extra to be able to do some other trim panels, or if you make some mistakes. Now, the hardest panels on the car to wrap 100% were the bumpers. The front bumper was by far the worst because I did a lot of inlays on it. Now, if you guys don't know what an inlay is, if you come up really close here, there's like a small seam on that body line right there. It's a little difficult to show you guys, but there is a small seam that runs on this wrap, and you can't really see it unless you're super up close. But some of the other like troublesome areas that I had that I need to redo, one of them is this grill area. So one of the biggest issues I had when wrapping this bumper was right up here in this like recess going around this. I just couldn't get all the air out, and you can definitely see there's like a small piece of contamination right there. There are some wrinkles down here from the heat, because after you wrap the car, the wrap essentially needs to cure a little bit. So putting it out in the sun, the wrap shrinks. Now, it doesn't matter how much you post heat this. I post heated everything a lot to make sure that I got minimal shrinkage. And even with that minimal shrinkage, we still had some just like bubbles, wraps, some minor issues. Totally normal. It happens. It's a learning experience, but this is one of those instances. Like, I knew there were small wrinkles here when I initially did this one, just because I didn't know the grill. I thought the grill sat out a little bit further on this bumper. That is not the case. So, yeah, I mean, you can see like a small sliver of blue there because the wrap shrunk. And actually, I pretty much think that's it for just the grill. The grill just kind of sucked because getting it all up in here, I did this in 2 pieces. So the bumper is 1 piece. There's an inlay right on that seam right there that you can't really see, but if you're doing this, I do suggest doing this in 2 pieces and take your time on this. As for the grill, you really need to get this wrap deep in there to be able to cover up like this whole area, because I thought all this was covered, and that is not true. Now, that's pretty much it for the defects on the front bumper. Luckily, since this is a separate piece, I can just peel this piece off, redo it, not a big problem. But going down the car a little bit further, there are a couple other small spots. Now, as a temporary measure, you can see like a small piece of wrap right there. I put that on there today because I didn't leave enough excess going around the door. This is the first door that I wrapped on the car when we first did this, so I kind of figured that I'd have to come back to this one at some point and rewrap it. Now, with this, you should leave about 2 inches excess over the panel that you're doing to be able to tuck it in and then trim it on the back side. I didn't necessarily do that. I just cut along the fender, and it wasn't enough, and the wrap started to peel back a little bit right here. Now, that could also be because I didn't clean it hard enough or clean it well enough. When you're going and doing this, you really want to make sure that all the wax grease is off of these panels, and before you even put any of this wrap down, you really want to make sure you go over it with isopropyl alcohol, and you really want to go over it with isopropyl alcohol in areas that you didn't even think that you needed to go in, because the wrap's going to go in spots that you just didn't know, and you can see like a very small part of it right there starting to peel up again. So I just need to redo this door. It's not a huge issue. That's the only defect with the door. I showed you guys this issue when I first did this giant C pillar all the way up to the A pillar, because this is a big piece of vinyl, and I didn't want to have to recut, reorder more and able to get this done, but I'm gonna have to anyways. So right down here along the gas tank, as I showed you guys, there's that small sliver of blue right there. it got a little bit bigger in the curing process, but it's not gonna get any bigger than that because it has fully cured in the sun. I left it out there for like 2 days, so I'm not gonna worry too much about that one, but that is another small area that you need to make sure that you're doing. When it comes to doing the gas cap area, I do suggest putting masking tape all along the gas cap. Do your gas cap a second piece, and then you're able to just cut along the tape of the gas cap, pop the gas cap open, and then get all of that in there. It's a huge pain to be able to do, but I promise you the end result will be worth it. The trunk, I haven't had any issues with the trunk. I did the trunk in 2 separate pieces under the wing seam, so you wouldn't even know it's there unless you were like really searching for it. But you guys can also see like a hint of blue, like right down in there. I didn't go deep enough with this C-pillar to be able to cover up all that blue. So I might put another little strip in there, or when I go to redo this panel eventually, I'll probably get it deeper in there. But you really need to be able to get deep inside of these recesses. I mean, so as you guys can see, like right in here though, the wrap's not coming up. I just didn't go deep enough. So when you are wrapping this piece, I do suggest coming out deeper than where I did, just to make it a lot easier for you guys. You're not gonna see any blue or anything like that by doing so. The other issue is right back here on the bumper. Now there is a small bubble right there, as you guys can see. I've already popped it. It just won't stick down anymore. Luckily, when I did my rear bumper, I also did this in 2 pieces, and there's a seam on this body line, so that way I can just pull this top piece off, redo this top piece, just so there's no bubbles coming up right there like this one is. Like, it's annoying, but at least it's a small piece, and I can easily like remedy the situation by fixing that. It's just annoying to have to deal with. Now, the reason that it failed like right down here in the bumper area is because I'm guessing I didn't clean this well enough, and it just started peeling up, and then air and dirt and water and contaminants got in there and just started ruining the wrap right there. So that's an easy spot to have to fix. Outside of that, those are the only issues with the wrap on the car that I've been having. Outside of that, everything else has been holding up perfectly. I've been driving the car. No other peel back in any other areas except for those couple that I showed you guys. Now, those areas that are peeling are some of the first areas that I ended up wrapping on the car, and it's fixable. It's just slightly annoying to have to deal with. You wouldn't find those really if you didn't look for them, except for that rear bumper one. You can see that bubble pretty good. Now, a couple of suggestions that I would have for you guys if you guys are doing this is really make sure that you are cleaning those panels. You're getting inside of those panel gaps, areas that you didn't think you'd even have to clean. Really start getting in there and really clean those areas before you even go to put the wrap on there, especially with the roof rails. Like when I did my roof rails, I did not realize how much debris was in there. If you can get like some compressed air and blow it all out and then wipe it down with isopropyl alcohol, that would be your best bet and able to do that. But those panel gaps, they're really going to be important that you clean them very well, or else you're going to start getting some peel back like I am on that one front passenger door. I didn't have enough wrap. I didn't clean it well enough, and it's starting to peel back. It's showing. I need to fix it, and it's just going to get worse over time. So if you guys are doing it, make sure you spend the time, the extra 35 seconds to clean those gaps. Secondly, when it comes to maintaining the wrap, because some of you guys were asking, how do you clean it? How do you maintain it? That kind of stuff. Normal baths, give the car a bath, wash it, soap, water, that's it. You can ceramic coat the wrap. I already ceramic coated mine. Don't wax it, you'll destroy it. Don't use like an orbital or anything like that. You'll destroy it, you'll discolor it, just don't use an orbital on that. I feel like I shouldn't have to say that one. But that Griot's ceramic wax spray that I used a couple like weeks back, that's what I ended up using on the wrap, and it's been doing great at keeping everything off of there. Tomorrow I'm going to be giving the car its first bath since it's been wrapped. It hasn't really gotten dirty, but it should, I mean, it should be just fine. Third, some of you guys were asking how I did the hood scoop, because the hood scoop is a really annoying piece to do. Now, I did my hood scoop in 3 pieces. There's this one main piece right here, which is an inlay. You've got a seam going all the way out right here. You have a seam going all the way out right here, and then this is one piece itself. And then on the underside, I did another piece that wraps around, goes down, wraps around, goes down, and that's pretty much how you do the hood scoop. I would suggest doing it in the order of this bottom piece, then this top piece, and then the inside pieces, and that should be able to get your hood scoop no problem. But outside of that, the wrap, you guys can do this. I promise you, I'm about to do the BRZ tomorrow. It's just those couple small things I've learned from doing the STI to be able to do the BRZ a lot better. And I promise you guys, after you do your first wrap, you will be much better the second time you do it, because you figure out all these shortcomings and all these small issues that you have. 4. The last thing I want to touch on is tool stuff. So these gloves, these wrap gloves, they really do make a difference when it comes to wrapping the car because you're able to glide your hand across the wrap so much easier to get air bubbles out. Highly suggest those. Some of you guys were asking me about the gloves. Also, monkey strips. Get new monkey strips. They're essentially just a little felt piece on the end of the squeegee, so that way when you're going over the wrap, you're not picking up dirt, contaminant, all this other stuff getting into the wrap and ruining it. And then lastly, don't be afraid to go through new razor blades. You don't want the blade to like jump and cut. It happened to me a couple times, and you can definitely see on the wrap in some areas, if you look at a panel on the inside of it or like the inside of the trunk, you can definitely see where it started to get wavy from the blade just losing like its sharpness or its dullness. But I just wanted to go over this with you guys because you guys did have some questions, and since we are going into the BRZ wrap, I did want to answer some of these questions prior. Now with the BRZ wrap, since I understand how to do this a lot better than I did on the STI, I will walk you guys through some of the panels just to show you guys like how to do this, because trust me, people say wrapping is hard, and it's not the easiest thing out there, but it's also not the hardest thing. You guys can definitely do this in your garage. It's definitely going to take you a couple days, but it's definitely doable. You don't have to pay a shop, and I promise you, you will get better as you go. But with the BRZ, I will walk you guys through some panels, how I'm doing them, so that way you guys can figure out how to do them on your cars, because it's the same application from the BRZ out there over to the STI in here. It's just it's a different chassis. But like I said, that's all I got for you guys on this one. I just wanted to answer some of those questions for you guys, get this out of the way, so that way we can just jump right into the BRZ wrapping videos and get those going, because I am a little hyped for this green to show up. Green wasn't my original choice. I wanted the brown or the aqua, but you guys wanted green, so we're doing green. I'm a man of my words. Said we'd do whatever color you guys chose, so green it is. But with that, that's all I got for you guys on this one. So if the video helped you, if you guys like the video, you know what to do. Go ahead, hit that like button and turn it blue. Like, you can't see it, but the door jams on the Subaru, they blue. And if you're not already subscribed to the channel, hit your boy, yep, one of these corners. That one up there, actually. Hit that subscribe button, help your boy out. And with that, I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace out, homies. Woo!